6 losses in a row away from Chase Center. The Warriors just cannot figure it out on the road. They get blown out in Oklahoma City, a game in which the Thunder led by as many as 36 points. They have a quick turnaround to take on the Spurs tomorrow night on the back end of a back-to-back, but it was all bad starting with the end of the first quarter to the rest of the game. Oklahoma City scored 44 third-quarter points. They scored 107 going into the fourth quarter, and we'll try to dissect what's going on with the Golden State Warriors here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live with NBA champion Festus Ezeli, the pride of Yale, Zena Nikita. I am Bonte Hill. We were amped up for this game, wanted to see the Warriors punch back a litmus test, and it was all right most of the first quarter. Steph Curry commits his first flagrant foul of his career.
Yes.
Then it was all bad from there.
Yeah, Bonte, you're going against the Oklahoma City Thunder, the number 1 team in the league right now, number 1 defense in the league. You got to come with it the whole time. You got to come with different punches, come with some energy. I thought the Warriors fell flat early in this game. They were turning the ball over. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander himself outscored Steph and Jimmy Butler together. The Warriors' offense was not what I wanted it to be tonight going against the number 1 team. And you looked around, the energy was flat. You look at the body language, all these things. Before we even get to the basketball game, it seems like the Warriors walked in here defeated, knowing that they already lost 5 in a row on the road.
Monte, there was a reason why in the pregame I felt like I just wanted to challenge them, because it did feel as if this game was already an L in the column in terms of the way it was being discussed, the way it was being brought up by the fan base, and looking into this game, yes, these are the defending champs. Yes, they are playing phenomenally, but the way that the Warriors started out made me see, okay, this is what I mean. Challenge them. Make sure that paint defense is for real. You saw them go on a 9-0 run in that first quarter, and you're like, okay, here we go. Here's the layers to the actions that we're looking for. And then all of a sudden, the second that OKC started blowing up their pick and rolls, started making sure that they were in the passing lanes, it felt as if the Warriors were playing checkers while the OKC Thunder were playing chess, and they couldn't keep up in the match.
9-0 run. Warriors took a 23-21 lead after that 9-0 run. Buddy Hield with the steal. Fast break led to Jimmy Butler scoring 5 straight, but then it was all bad. And you know what? This stat sheet, get this out of here. Just throw that away, because in the first quarter, as you mentioned, in the 9-0 run, and then this is where things got haywire. Great pass from Draymond Green. But Moses Moody, as the referees reviewed it, said, nope, not going to count. It was a correct call there. So the Warriors are stuck on 25. And then this, from here, flagrant foul, the first of Stephen Curry's 17-year career. And this is a call he usually gets on the other side, or tries to get, of course. And that's a correct call right there. Isaiah Joe goes to the free throw line for 3, plus the flagrant. And in the second quarter, OKC just jumped all over them. And it was just disgusting. 11 first half assists.
This man right here.
He's a problem.
100% from the field. Chet Holmgren took over. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he is the maestro for the OKC offense. You just see him going downhill the whole time.
23-11 for Chet Holmgren. SGA with 28, 11, and 5, Zena. And the Warriors give up another 60-point half, the 6th time they've done that in the first half this season. And they were playing uphill against a team that is smelling blood right now, the Oklahoma City Thunder, as they remain perfect at home and improve to 11-1.
It really is going to be tough to beat any opponent when the types of turnovers that you're making are turnovers that come from getting into the paint, getting into the air, and not having someone to pass to, right? Or being able to try and set a screen and you're pushing off to get ready for the slip. You're doing things that you're defeating yourself. And that's what you saw, particularly after that Steph got that flagrant. You started seeing more and more mistakes starting to pile up. And what happens is, once you start being yourself, you're now playing fast and in a hurry. And the difference was OKC was playing fast, but not in a hurry. They were getting wide open shots based on what they wanted to do. Things in transition, being able to pull up. Jalen Williams was just getting whatever he wanted, as if people were forgetting that he is a 40+% shooting big. He is capable of hitting those shots. It was really tough to watch the Warriors just allow OKC to completely take over this game after they started decently well.
Okay, so you said Jalen Williams hit a bunch of threes. On the Warriors' end, at the end of the first quarter, the Warriors took 9 threes. 5 of those were the Warriors' bigs. 3 from Quentin Post, 2 from Draymond. Well, the Warriors were not hitting their threes, but OKC, they were getting great quality shots. It seemed like every time on the defensive end, they were pushing the Warriors, busting through everything. The Warriors want to run a pick and roll with Steph. They would blow it up. They would never let him turn the corner. Meanwhile, that pass usually that you see to go to Draymond Green wasn't there. They're long, athletic. They're very fast. They were forcing the Warriors into these tough shots. On the other hand, the Warriors were coming down, the OKC Thunder were coming down on their offense, and they were getting whatever they want. They actually remind me of a young Warriors team. That team that came back.
Your thought. We're going to get to that, Fezzi.
Because right now,
we got some comps
the
coming.
anger and the precision, the continuity that Oklahoma is playing with right now is
we're going to show the fans
basketball.
something. Your comp is spot on, but we'll show you in a second about those comparisons to the Warriors in 2015-16 and, of course, this current team with Oklahoma City. But SGA, they have their superstar. Of course, you talk about those young Warriors. The superstar was Steph Curry. He's still a star in this league, of course, but SGA is now entering his prime. He's coming off an MVP season, a championship ring, and he was 9-19, cool, calm, and collected. Got to the free throw line 8 times. He usually gets there about 9 times, Zena. But he was a total. Look at the way he can handle the rock. It's on the string right there. He pulls up from the mid-range. He even hit the 3 tonight. We all said, let him shoot the 3. Well, he said, sure, why not? I'll shoot 50% from the perimeter.
3 of 6 from 3. I mean, but the thing was, he was getting to his spots either way. That play right there, just being able to lull you to sleep as he assesses the court, sees what's open, and just when Brandon Podziemski's like, oh, I got him in my hold, right? I got him in my vision. He's in my scope. He's like, got you, by you. And he kept doing that over and over. And really all of OKC allowed themselves to just get to the paint within seconds of the shot clock. And that was what was really tough, right? How quickly and easily they were scoring and allowed them to go back on what? Half-court defense, get set up, allow that kind of box-and-one action happening because, I mean, at this point it was a box-and-one with Cates and Wallace being stuck to the hip of Steph Curry. It was just a defeat, a complete defeat, an asphyxiation of everything that the Warriors want to do in terms of offense and then also on defense.
Okay, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he is the Steph Curry for the Oklahoma City Thunder. He's the guy who gets them to go. He's the primary ball handler. He gets down and pick and rolls. He does it in transition. But I thought he could get to whatever spot he wanted all night long. Those numbers indicate he had 20 points, 28 points tonight. He had 11 assists. I mean, he could do whatever he wanted. He got 3 from 6 from three-point line. The Warriors never made him uncomfortable. And if you're going against a team like this that's so well-oiled, you got to put pressure on them. You got to put some – the defense has to make them uncomfortable, and it starts with the primary ball handler. We spoke so much about the point-of-attack defense. That's something that needs to get better because you're not beating any team with this level of pressure, especially on the road. There's a reason why the road record is what it is. The Warriors got to step up that pressure. You got to put a lot of emphasis on the fact that that guy who has the ball cannot get to the spots that he wants because that's what breaks up the offense in the first place. I thought the Warriors just let him do whatever. He just really wanted to go wherever he wanted to go tonight.
He did, and then the Warriors gave
Olé.
It was Olé. And another way you could put pressure on somebody is by getting them in foul trouble. And we were seeing that. Shai had 2 early fouls within that first half, and you were seeing him kind of get frustrated, walking a little bit around, trying to assess how can I get better in this game. And that's the thing that OKC does so well because they're led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. When he makes mistakes, he adjusts, he gets back into it, he doesn't let up. And whether it was his defense or his offense, he didn't let up all game.
Well, it was the Warriors who were in foul trouble. End of the first half, Draymond, Steph, and Brandon Podziemski each had 3 fouls early in the third quarter. Steph had picked up 5 fouls. Looked like he was going to foul out this one in his return. Of course, he missed 3 consecutive games due to general illness. He was back, and he hit his first 3 shots of the night. Then he went 1 of 10 the rest of the way as OKC tightened up their defense. There wasn't a lot of space for Steph. And look at the assist numbers as you fell. The assist numbers for Steph, 0 assist for the chef tonight in his return to the lineup.
To start this game, Bonte, I thought the Warriors they got a couple back cuts off of Steph. I thought this was going to be great. Those are going to be the pain points we keep talking about. They opened the lanes up with Quentin Post at the top of the key. He's going to lift the big up on the other end. And so I thought Steph getting those easy buckets to start the game would get him going. I thought then OKC just put the pressure on. They just started to every pick and roll with Steph Curry, they double teamed it. But that was the best pick and roll defense I've ever seen on the Steph Curry, Draymond Green pick and roll. Like they did a great job of not letting Steph pass the ball, stopping it from getting to Draymond, but also not letting Steph turn the corner. This OKC team is for real. That defense, that number 1 rated defense that we keep talking about is for real. They stop people from getting to the paint. They average 39.7 opponents points in the paint. Tonight, the Warriors got, 38? That for them, every night, they have really hung their hats on the defensive end. And I thought the Warriors just could not respond to that challenge tonight.
They jumped on every single pick and roll that Steph was involved in. Being able to hedge, usually, is you hedge and go back. They jumped. And even when they did jump and they fake switched, they were able to X out so quickly because the person that got the ball wasn't aggressive enough to the basket. Yep. And that's the thing, whether it's Draymond, whether it's Jimmy, whether it's Jonathan Kuminga, whoever, TJD even, they weren't enough of a threat that OKC had time to recover even after they jumped. Like, this was such execution of the scouting report. Mm-hmm. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. And the other thing that they did was they did such a great job of making sure that when they jumped, it was wide enough. If I'm looking at the three-point line, it was high enough that by the time that they did get closer to the three-point line, they had time to switch back. They X'd out so well on those executions, and it was just like, I mean, this is OKC.
They recover as well as any team in the league. Their athleticism, they're quick, and they played Draymond to be the passer tonight, which I think was a subtle adjustment Steve Kerr tried to make in the third quarter. Put the ball in Jimmy's hands more in the half court because they played Draymond to pass. Where this was a game where we could have seen Draymond maybe shoot the three ball because they were giving him that shot, knowing that Steph was coming off those screens. All right, you mentioned it earlier. They're playing like a young, hungry Warriors team from a decade ago. So through the first 12 games, on the way to winning 73 games, Fezzi, you guys were averaging 114 points per game, different games, shooting 48%, and your defense was locked down. Look at that. Didn't even give up 100 points a game through the first 12. Now you look at OKC, they're giving up about 10 more points, but they're also scoring about 8 more points per game, and they're just as deadly. You mentioned it, and I'm starting to see what you see with that Oklahoma City team. And don't forget, last season they beat their opponents by an average of 13 points per game. They're a top five team historically in this league.
I see a couple things when I watch this team. I see a selflessness. You see it on the defensive end. Everybody is in help and recover constantly. Zena was just showing you beautifully how when you get to the three-point line, when you see a pick and roll, they're recovering, and guys are covering for each other on the X. All these things are things that really help the defense. They are holding opponents to 41% from the field in general. That is choking the offense out of the other team. That is, you're putting your pressure and putting your imprints on the game defensively. Offensively, they can mix and fill. They're so deep of a team that losing Jalen Williams, who's their second best player, doesn't even matter. They just continue to roll in. They have a guy fill in, AJ Mitchell. There's no new Lou Dort tonight. Yeah. They have guys to fill into roles, and they're such a deep team, and they have this continuity where everybody knows exactly where they're supposed to be. They're playing a two-big lineup. Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein. They also have a great chemistry to where Isaiah's on the baseline or Chet is on the baseline, and the other guy can drive and kick to him at any point. I think this chemistry for this team is the thing that I see the most. I see it defensively, I see it offensively, and there's a hunger they come into this year with that says we're still trying to come back and win it back, run it back.
Zena, let me jump in here because the starting fives here. I want you to compare the starting fives from a decade ago. You see Steph, he was 30.
Come on,
Bonte, averaging 30 a game.
Don't do this,
Klay Thompson, 22.
Don't do this,
This is a great starting five for the Golden State Warriors.
Man.
Draymond was up to 14 points per game. He's shooting over 38% from the three-point line. But Jalen Williams hasn't played yet. He's a 22-point-per-game scorer, and he was showing out in the postseason. Lou Dort could lock down, defend anybody. Then you get Chet and Hartenstein. The difference to me is the bigs, because their bigs are a little more versatile, but this would have been a great 5-on-5 pickup game.
Don't do this,
I got one question for you.
I'm sorry.
I got one question. Look at this graphic. Tell me, out of that starting five, who was there the year before in 2014, 2015? Out of that starting five, who was on the team?
Everybody.
Exactly.
Same thing. Continuity.
Exactly. It's continuity. You literally dropped the two words I wanted to say, and I'm happy you said it. Continuity and chemistry. It doesn't matter who you have on the other end. It doesn't matter that Lou Dort isn't scoring over 10 points per game. It matters that they know each other. You can have each other's backs because you've been in practice for 2 straight seasons, and you've locked in, you've bought in, you know how you want to play. And they have an identity. And right now, you don't have that same continuity right now on the Warriors side. There's been a little bit, there's continuity. Of course, Draymond and Steph are always going to be a tandem. But Jimmy's new in this technically, right? You're still looking at Jonathan Kuminga getting back into this mix as a starter, as someone that's contributing way more. You're still looking at the big in this situation, not knowing, who's going to be the person that's going to step up each night. So there's not the same level of continuity. I'm not even trying to compare these two teams today, because right now I don't think that that's a fair comparison. But looking at that team, that is why they execute so well. they've been with each other. They've been in the trenches with each other, and they know each other.
What I see is the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think they've come into the season the same way the Warriors came into that season. Winning a championship, you feel like you've been disrespected a little bit in the summer, and they come out with the same intensity saying, we're going to try to run it back again. And so everything, defensive, offensive, they've been so locked in the season. Right now, they're looking like the favorites for the championship this year. But, Bonte, I'll say this. Do you remember who won the game November 18, 2018? What's today? What's today?
11th.
November 11th, 2018?
Yeah.
You remember who won that game that day?
Who won that game?
Yeah, it doesn't matter because it's November. All right, still the start of the season. All right, everybody just hold on for the Warriors. This is a lot of time for the Warriors to get better for the season to go along. But this is a measuring stick right now.
You know what, though? You're right. Doc Rivers had talked. A lot of people talk saying, you guys didn't play the best teams, blah, 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 blah. You guys go out there and win 73. A lot of people thought, OKC, yeah, they're not going to go back-to-back. And SGA said it. We're playing like a team that lost in the second round of the playoffs. We felt like we didn't play well against Indiana in the NBA Finals. So they're a team that's looking like they have one goal, and that's to hoist another Larry O'Brien trophy. Boy, they have the horses to do it. We're going to hear from Steve Kerr on the other side as the Warriors get blasted once again on the road. Their sixth straight road loss. What adjustments will they make tomorrow night in San Antonio? That's all coming up on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live.